What's going on, everybody? Oh boy, do I got a treat for you. We're gonna do something different today. I don't know why I'm getting too excited. It's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna be reviewing Mr. Alphadestiny's cutting plan. If you don't know this guy, he's a personal trainer, I think, and he does basically fitness videos, a lot of workout advice, a lot of good stuff as well that I've taken into account. So we're not gonna be critiquing that part because I have no business there, but I do specialize in the diet world, so I'm going to be reviewing his current plans to get lean and all that goes with it. So if you are new, hit the subscribe button and let's begin.
So for many months, I've been thinking about getting lean again. And you know what? I decided to jump on the opportunity. Sometimes when you really want something, you just gotta go for it, irrespective of what everyone else is doing. Like right now, it's bulking season, and I'm undergoing a second cut. Funny how history repeats itself, but I digress. The goal is to hit 160 pounds and maybe even below.
Yeah, he was just explaining in the beginning how he's been thinking about getting lean for a while. I did see his first cut that he did a few years ago, and he got some pretty good results. He's looking a lot better. But ever since that, I think it was back in 2018, he hasn't cut since. So he's been like bulking and, you know, getting that soft look on, that bear mode, what he calls. And yeah, so I mean, I don't blame him. I don't like to look like that year round. I'd rather be lean and, you know, aesthetic brah. Sorry. But yeah, I don't blame him. I respect him for, you know, trying, and something that a lot of people don't even care about is getting in shape. So let's continue watching.
So there's nothing complicated about this. You want to lose weight, you have to know what your total daily energy expenditure is and enter a calorie deficit. In my case, I'm doing it fast, so 20% is the baseline.
Okay, so Mr. Destiny makes a great point. He says it all comes down to the caloric deficit. You have to find out essentially what your maintenance calories are, which is the amount of food that you eat to maintain your current weight. So in order to do that, you got to find that out. You got to, you know, put your stats in, your age, your height, your weight, blah, 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 your activity level, your NEAT, your non-activity, exercise, activity thermogenesis, all that blah, blah, blah. And then you subtract 200 to 500 calories from that, and voila, you're in a caloric deficit and you should be losing fat weekly. Let's continue.
And the best way to do this, in my opinion, is through a whole food, plant-based diet. It doesn't have to be 100%. In fact, I'm not doing that myself. It's 90-95. With the exception of cheat meals, gatherings, and little feasts once in the blue moon. And I'm doing this because, as Dr. Furman once stated, you are getting moderate caloric restriction in an environment of micronutrient excellence. That is the whole purpose. You're fulfilled, you're full, you're satisfied, yet you don't feel as if you're undergoing a cut. The weight just naturally tends to fall off.
He says, in his opinion, plant-based diet is the best way to go. Any other YouTuber critique, I say, I don't agree with that. My opinion differs. My opinion differs too. But I mean, I do respect him for saying that it's, you know, his opinion and he's not totally biased. So I'm not getting, you know, biased vibes from him. At least he admits, you know, he says that it's not going to be 100% plant-based. So at least he's not, you know, going too strict. He's going to have like his cheat meals, which is good. But in my opinion, shit. Sorry, Jesus, it's dusty in here. In my opinion, oh shit, you can eat whatever you want. As long as you're at a deficit, you will lose weight. Now, there's smarter ways to go about it. Eat low-calorie foods that'll fill you up. We're talking about salads, you know, protein French toast, all that good stuff. You don't gotta eat like a vegan to lose weight. That's stupid. That's right, I said it. That's stupid. I'm kidding. If you do it and it works for you, just go ahead and do it. I don't judge you. So he makes a pretty interesting point. He says, I think the reason why he chooses to eat plants, because he says that by default, essentially by default, he's eating less, because when you're eating nothing but plants are naturally going to be low calorie dense foods. So he's saying the majority of what he's eating is going to be low calorie dense foods essentially by default. So he's going to be full, you know, eating a lot of salads, a lot of vegetables, a lot of beans, all that stuff. You can eat a lot of it for low calories and still lose weight, which makes a lot of sense. But I mean, if you can follow that and you enjoy eating that way, you can steer yourself eating that way for the long term, then go for it. Like, disregard what I say. In my opinion, I feel like I can't stick to something so strict and that deprives other food groups through the long term, because it's gonna run in your brain. You're gonna be craving it. The more you deprive anything, you're gonna crave it. So it's not a good plan long term. That's what I'm saying.
And the key in making this work for bodybuilding is to acquire 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. The best evidence suggests this is all you really need. All these guys pounding back tons of protein shakes or protein-rich foods in general, they might be doing that for satiation, but in terms of the muscular effect, maintenance, or even gains-wise, doesn't really contribute to much. And in my case, the whole plant foods already takes care of the satiety aspect. And some general guidelines I can give about that is to consume at least 200 grams of berries a day. 500 grams of broccoli in one shot is pretty powerful as well. And then just having a ton of beans, variety, black beans, lentils, your whole grains to couple it. It's extremely simple stuff, and if you want me to cover that in a full day of eating, let me know, but there's nothing new about what I'm doing. I'm just sticking to what the science says is best.
So I agree with this point about the protein intake. A lot of guys, go to the extreme, but I mean, it's not gonna hurt. People say it's bad on your kidneys. It's debatable. I mean, I try to eat as much protein as I can because it's satiating. It'll preserve muscle mass, and that's like the main reason, because it's satiating. Especially when you're dieting, trying to lose weight, it's good that you eat. I try to eat at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I'm like in the high 160s. Like, let's say I'm like 165. I'm 165 pounds, so I eat that in grams, 165 grams of protein every day. But lately I've been going over that. Like, sometimes I eat up to 200 grams. That's totally fine. I feel fine. My performance is the same. My kidneys feel fine. I don't know how I would feel like, but yeah, don't concern yourself that you're eating too much protein. It's fine. But yeah, you don't need to eat a ton either. Like, nobody needs to eat that much protein. So don't freak out. As long as you're getting like a pound, or like he says, I would even agree with that. 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, that's more than enough, honestly, or just about.
And let me also say that if there are some days where I end up in a 25 to 30% deficit, I really don't care. In fact, the training that I do in addition to this diet is probably going to facilitate that. And that's why I'm saying this is going to be an aggressive cut. So how about we talk about that right now?
Okay, so I said I'd only review the diet part because, I do know stuff about training. Maybe I'll review that later, but for the sake of this video, it's only going to be diet. So overall, I think he has a pretty good idea of what to do. He's experienced. He knows what he's doing. I don't doubt that one single bit. But I just hope he doesn't push his audience to follow the plant-based diet and becomes biased and says, oh, this is the only way to lose weight. But I'm not getting that at all from this video. That really wasn't the main message. I think he's truly trying to help people, and I respect that 100%. But again, you don't need to follow what he's doing. You don't need to eat nothing but plants to lose weight. I guess it works for him because it by default helps him eat less food, because you're eating nothing but plants and you're fuller naturally. But you can eat just as many plants and include meat and dairy and be happy, and you can stick to the diet longer because, again, you're not deprived of any foods. But that's a whole nother story. Hope you guys got some value. Hope you guys absorbed some knowledge, and I hope you subscribe if you're new. And give a like if you're not. Goodbye.